Testing. Yep, mic's working. Good. Okay. There we go. Hello everyone, welcome to the Goblins live show. We are running late. We're really, really sorry about that, but we'll talk about what we've been up to today after the intro. So we're kind of just like catching up with ourselves a little bit here. And kind of setting things up as we go. But today's show, unfortunately, because what we were up to today, we didn't have a chance to organise anything for today's show. So we're going to turn it into a bit of a Q&A show, I think, just for today.
Yeah.
I mean, we did break 4,000 subscribers. Woo! That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much to all of you who have joined us. Welcome to the Horde. So anyway, I mean, we were going to do something a little bit like this anyway for the 4,000 subscriber show, but ideally, yeah, significantly more planned, definitely.
And this one's turned out to be, but nah.
Oh dear. Anyway, I think we're on the right episode. I put in 55. I just assumed that it was 55, but I couldn't remember. But right, yeah. Are you ready, wifey?
Yes. Let's roll that intro.
Roll the intro. If I can find it, there we go. All right, wifey, how are we doing?
I'm tired. It's been such a long day.
Such a long day.
I don't think nothing. It wasn't meant to take us as long as it did.
No. Well, long story short, I bought a new car.
That's the end of the show.
I bought a new car, and we booked half days off work today to accommodate for the live show. Well, and all the car dealerships close at 6 o'clock anyway. But we thought we would be home well before 6 o'clock today.
We thought we'd be home like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, literally at least an hour ago anyway. But yeah, so nightmares. I haven't had the chance to say hello to the dog yet either.
Which is why he's doing this.
It's like, yeah, he's all over us right now. Poor little thing. You all right? You okay? But anyway, so bought a new car. So you guys are probably wondering what it is. It's a bit of a downgrade from what I had, but I've got rid of the hairdresser's car, as everyone called it. So I got rid of my Audi TT, and I have replaced it with, drumroll please.
I could just... Anyway.
A Honda Civic. And some of you may have picked up already that the wifey already has a Honda Civic. So this Honda Civic is a Type R model, so Type R GT FN2. So it's from the mid 2000s era. And yeah, I mean, believe it or not, we only test drove 2 of them in 4 or 5 hours.
We left the house dead on 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
And we literally got in bums on seats at about 5 minutes ago. So
it was mad.
The entire time we've been out.
It was mad. So anyway, so bought a new car, and it's honestly it's pretty good. It's an old car. It was registered in 2007. So how long is that? 15 years? 16 years old? Something like that. Is that right?
I don't know.
16 years old. And it's done over 100,000 miles. So it's by no means a new car.
Oh, but the sound.
But I'd never went out initially intending to buy a modified one, but I ended up just falling in love with the second one that we looked at.
So,
and
I'll be honest, when we turned the first one on, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
It's a Honda Civic. It's a Type R. It's obviously in the badge. You think it's the badge?
Yeah, it was totally stock. Totally stock.
And then the second car, like started up, and I was like, oh, that's a bit nice. It
Yeah.
grunts, it growls.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Yeah, well, it's got an aftermarket
But obviously, I was like this
intake and air
in front
filter.
of the guy. I was like, no expression. Don't let him know that we like anything.
And as far as it's had the ride height lowered a little bit as well, and it's also had an exhaust fitted, an aftermarket exhaust. I have no idea what it is. I haven't had a chance to look, but it sounded great, so we were pretty happy. And it was well looked after. It had loads of paperwork, servicing every single year.
Every single thing had been done to that car. Every service, every MOT was accounted for, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean everything works in the car as well, as far as I'm aware. There's only one thing that is an issue, and the clutch is slipping. So I'm gonna have to get the. I think it's just a pressure plate, a clutch pressure plate. That's the issue.
Third time.
So, yeah, third time. I think hopefully that should sort it, and then we'll have a pretty much a fully functioning Honda Civic.
And
I mean,
your 18-year-old self is giddy right now.
15-year-old self. I mean, I don't know when I can't remember what year they released those cars, 2005. But when they did, I absolutely fell in love with them when I was a kid. When I was at high school. And so I'm actually quite happy that I've been able to fulfill that kind of boyhood dream. But it is a yobbo's car, okay? It's
obnoxious.
It is an obnoxious car.
Yeah.
But I pay. Okay, so I'll tell you how much I paid for it. I paid just under 4K for it. So it was one of the cheapest ones in the Southwest. And funnily enough, the other one that we looked at had less mileage. And in the pictures, it looked fantastic in the pictures,
it looked
didn't it?
spot on, didn't
but when we actually looked at it in person, it was in much worse condition than we thought. The interior was really nice.
It was spot on. The inside was perfect. Yeah.
But again, there was an issue with the clutch on that one as well.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite figure out what it was, but I think it just needed a new clutch, simple as that. But the bite point was seriously low down, so it either needed a new clutch or it probably needed a clutch fluid service.
Yeah. I'm quite excited because we were so constrained on time. We literally had to go from one country to another at one point, weren't we? To test these two cars. Yeah. I didn't get a chance to test drive it.
No.
So I'm quite excited later to go out and to give that a spin.
Yeah, we'll do that for sure.
Might have to film it, like reaction to.
We've done a lot of driving today, but
yeah.
Anyway, that's all sorted. So
very exciting.
I got a car anyway. Thing is, I mean, the reason why I sold the TT, I mean, I kind of just thought, well, I'm paying a ton of money for it, and I hardly use it. That car had less than 11,000 miles on it, and I've owned it for 3 years.
I think I've driven it more than you have.
I don't think so.
I've driven it a lot.
But we haven't. No, I don't think you have.
I think I have.
No, I don't think you have. Because I mean, for the short journeys and stuff, for the most part, we'd use your Civic, your car.
Yeah, but there've been times that I'd go out.
Yeah, I know, but it's I don't know. But anyway, I was paying a load of money for it, so I just thought, right now, I'll just sell it and use the equity that I have in the car to pay off the finance and then to pay for the new car. But I mean, that's why I wasn't so worried about high mileage or anything like that. By the way, I mean the Honda Civic from these eras don't have turbos on them, so in theory their engine should last a little bit longer than a turbocharged one. So I wasn't so worried about that. But if I'm not doing a lot of mileage in the car to begin with anyway, there's no point in me spending a butt ton of money on one. And so anyway, but it kind of killed two birds with one stone for me. Managed to get an old, I don't know, shitbox with, a load of mileage, but it's a fun car. It's a fun car. Maybe we'll do a video on it at some point, if you guys want to see that. But yeah, you know what I mean. But it has had some work done to it.
Maybe we'll have to redo the race, but have an old Cowie against an old Honda.
Oh God, no. No, that car got smoked. But anyway, okay, so let's say hello to everyone. Call on, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Mark, good to see you. Lone Wolf UK, good to see you. 125 guy, good to see you. I hope you're all doing well. Late 500 lines, detention. Yeah, I know, we're sorry. Mark, Mr. G's going through a midlife crisis. We've all been there. I was an XR3i.
Oh dear.
Perfect.
You're 20 years off a midlife crisis, aren't you? Or 10 years at least.
Well, and the funny thing is as well, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. So the equity that I managed to gain from the car, also gave me enough cash to buy a junk bike, which is something I've been wanting to do for so long. So I've actually got the cash now to just go out and buy one. So hopefully...
So what he's saying is we get to do this all over again, but with bikes.
But hopefully, I don't know, in a month's time, something like that, when we've had a chance to settle down, hopefully we can bring on a new bike to the channel.
Yes.
And we'll be able to do... Okay, I've got some really crazy ideas, all right?
Yeah,
I don't want to give anything away, but I've got some crazy ideas on a junk bike, and it'll probably wreck it. But
Which
hey,
is the point,
that's what
isn't
it is meant to be for. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But if it breaks, then I got to fix it. I think that's the like the condition for me. If I buy a junk bike and I break it, I've got to fix it. But yeah, so fingers crossed in the near future we'll be able to get something pretty cool in that regard as well. But yeah, so we did mention this right at the very beginning, but we haven't planned today's show whatsoever. We wanted to spend about an hour to an hour and a half before the show to prepare for it. We didn't get that chance. So today we're going to have a bit of a Q&A. I mean, maybe we can talk about a few things. Maybe we can have a look at see what's going on in the world of motorcycles right now.
There was something you wanted to talk about anyway.
Was... Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, I suppose we can mention that now. Yeah, so on Tuesday we didn't release a reaction video, as a lot of you probably already are aware. I mean, we're kind of going through a process of reimagining what those videos could be like. So we want to, instead of reacting to like a whole compilation, like what we have been doing, instead we will select a number, maybe five clips from wherever we can find them, credit the original creator as well, because that's something we can't do on a compilation. So we can credit the original creator of the clip. And also we can maybe, instead of, just having an initial reaction, we can study the clips a little bit further and provide more of a learning aid, I suppose. So, because that's the funny thing with a lot of these like compilation motorcycle fail / crash videos, there's a lot that are very similar to one another. Yeah. You see some reoccurring ones anyway.
It's like the same formula, just like regurgitated.
Yeah, and so I mean, if we can actually provide some constructive commentary on a few clips, then hopefully that'll actually help more people anyway, in terms of like avoiding these common things that you see in these compilation videos. Yeah. So anyway, that's just something that we wanted to mention. But yeah, so I mean, maybe we can have a look at doing something this weekend, get it ready for Tuesday. But we still haven't quite figured out the format and how we want to do it yet. But yeah, so that's something that we've got kind of going on in the back of our minds. So yeah, so it was that. But no, I mean, apart from that was pretty much it. I think that I wanted to tell everyone. I can't think off the top of my head any. Okay. I can think of a topic for today. Right, Wales.
Not the animal, the country.
not the whole country in Wales. Chepstow, specifically Chepstow in Wales. We drove there today.
Went to Caldecott.
Yeah, but it's just outside Chepstow.
Oh, right, okay.
Right, around Newport. I don't know what the county is, but yeah, around that area, right? So, this is an absolute pain, okay? Because we were driving to a car dealership, and this is what we were gonna check out this car. Yeah. And as soon as we got even near the town, 20 mile an hour everywhere.
That's not even an exaggeration.
20 miles an hour everywhere. It wasn't the side roads. It was main roads, A roads, and they were 20 miles an hour. And they've got like this big, massive like initiative saying like,
safer at 20.
Safer at 20. I'm like, okay, when you can ride a bicycle faster than cars can go on a particular road, I'm sorry, there's something desperately wrong there. I think I mentioned this before actually in one of our old videos about how 20 mile an hour speed zones are like a joke, but it's not a joke anymore. It's becoming a meme. Oh, it's like the councils are like they're doing this deliberately. I don't quite understand. There's no need for it. 30's fine. Why change it? 30 was absolutely fine. Down these roads you could do 40 even. I mean, okay, not that you should, but still, you could definitely easily do 40 safely anyway for most people. Hopefully that's not too what's the word? Hopefully I won't get backlash for that kind of comment, because there are loads of people out there that are like, oh, if you do 33 mile an hour in a 30, it's bad. You're gonna crash. That's not a Welsh accent, but you know what I mean.
But it's funny because...
I'd tell you for why. Sorry. Sorry, go on. What are you going to say?
But even the area we were in Bristol was 20.
Yes, but they were, a lot of them were suburban roads, which I understood. In a big city, suburban roads, urban roads, going a little bit slower is probably fine. But this is a rural area that we were in. A rural area. It was just one main road, one really long main road, and loads of housing estates connected to it. And the housing estates had 20 mile an hour zones. Fine, I can't argue with that. Absolutely fine. Don't make the main road 20 mile an hour, damn it.
Can I just take a little side note?
Yes, of course you
One,
can.
the dog looked at my phone and that's disgusting. And two, I've never heard it called suburban. I call it suburban. That's an American thing though, isn't it? The way I say it.
I've never heard of suburban.
Suburban.
Just
I've never heard
suburban.
Like suburb. You say suburb, do you?
Do you know what? I actually think I do. I actually think I do say that. I don't know. I don't know. Off the top of my head,
I just suddenly realised maybe I say it in a really American way.
Yeah, suburb. Yeah. But I don't pronounce the word that quickly. I say suburb.
Suburban.
Suburban. I don't know.
Sorry, now
maybe that's a southern thing. I don't know.
You're picking me. You're being northist.
Northist. No, southernist.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, but now the more I'm saying it, the weirder it's starting to sound in my head, and I don't know how I said it. It's like aluminium.
Don't say it.
And aluminum.
Aluminum.
Oh, if I say aluminum, I then can't say aluminium. Usually,
yeah.
He has to reteach me it.
So anyway, literally just today we basically went through an entire town that was all 20 mile an hour, and it was really funny how there were certain parts of the road that went from 20 to 40 and 20 to 50.
Yeah.
And then back to 20 again. But it was only like 100 yards.
It wasn't very much.
100 yards, 200 yards, and you're back to 20 again.
Because every time you're like, all right, you want to open the car up, you want to get a real sense, and then think things, and things start falling off. And I was like, right, it goes to 50, and then I was like, wait, now it's back in 20. You're like, really? I'm like, it's back in 20.
For our particular situation, it would have been nice if there were some roads close by that we could, but it wasn't. We had to drive about 2 or 3 miles away from the dealership to actually
we ended up
properly open up the taps on the car.
Half an hour away to find somewhere.
I mean, one of the there was a few kind of things that I wanted to kind of test in the car, like if the car pops itself out of gear, because then that means there's a problem with the gearbox. Especially on those Honda Civics, because they with the VTEC they redline at 8,000 RPM, and if they're up at that RPM and you just let off the gas, and then the gear stick comes out, or it just comes out of gear, then that's a potential problem. But as well, like testing the clutch slippage, you have to be in 4th gear and above to test out clutch slippage. You can't really do that in
20 miles an hour, can you?
Exactly.
You can't be like, no, mate.
So it was really difficult, and we did spend quite a lot of time actually trying to get away from these slow speed zones so we could actually test the car properly. So, anyway.
Whereas when we brought my car, because it's close to a bypass, it was straight up the bypass, straight up to 60 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then pootle around some little country road, like some little side roads, open the boot, check everything's all right, and then blast it back down like the dual carriageway. So it was easy.
Yeah. Well, it's the thing that worries me about these 20 mile an hour zones is that so they're spreading this into rural areas, and you do wonder how far it's going to spread. I can't imagine it helping all that much really when it comes to accident statistics or whatever. But they even had like speed camera signs and stuff like that up as well to kind of try and enforce it. I mean, they didn't have any physical speed cameras there, one. But no, that was
a 20, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but that wasn't in Chepstow though, was it?
No, it was in Bristol.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, no, I was still talking about Chepstow. Because Bristol's a nightmare anyway, just as is.
I got lost getting out of it. I couldn't leave.
But yeah, so I don't know. I didn't understand why they needed to do it like that.
Nope.
Yeah, honestly, guys, 20 mile an hour on side roads for housing estates, fine. I really don't see any problems with that. But for main roads, it's a bit of a... Who thinks of this stuff, right? Because I mean, again, as well, because we've been picked up on this before about how, you know, when we talk about 30 mile an hour limits, and there are certain roads where we're like, well, almost every 30 mile an hour road you can do more on, and they some people say, oh no, but what about, you know, the adverts where the kid gets run over, and it's like, hit me at 30, hit me at more, right? You know the one, hit me at 30 advert.
No,
do you remember
that
one?
Again?
I'm trying to.
Hit me at 30 and I've got a 70% chance of
I can't remember what statistics are.
Hit me at 70 and I've
but
got a 30% chance of dying.
My point is that 10 years ago, okay, so everyone was all about the 30 limit. Now it's 20. Yeah. How far is it going to go? I mean, is it going to go to 10? 15?
5.
Honestly, like, where does it end? It doesn't make any sense, but I mean, whatever. What are you going to do? I do feel really sorry for the people that live around there. I mean, I even mentioned it to to one of the guys at the dealership, one of the salespeople, and they were like, "Yeah, it's a nightmare. It's awful." And it's just very anti-driver. It's very anti-motorist. 20 mile an hour limits on main roads, A roads. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, let's see what you guys think about that. Ram, good to see you, mate. Mad Dog, good to see you. Who else is in there? That's everyone. Okie dokie. Okay. Mad Dog, is it cold in there? No.
It is.
It is. But we literally just got home.
Yeah.
from being out and about.
We got in at 6:10 and we went live at 15:15.
We were late. We were late today, so we've literally just got out the car in the house, turned on everything, and just went live. Straight away. We hadn't
even spoken to the dog.
We didn't even do a proper thumbnail or anything.
No.
So I might try and do a proper one later.
Or we do a redo.
Yeah. Let's have a look here. 125 guy, Bandit 1200. Okay. Damn, I didn't want to say what bikes I was thinking about, but yes, a Bandit was one of the bikes I was thinking about. I was either considering a Bandit 1200 or Bandit 600, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's available. But yes, that's a very, very good choice, and I'm not going to lie, it was one of my number one choices. Mark, did you realize you're now 4K subscribers? Yes, I did, mate. Thank you. Yeah. Massive thank you to all of our 4,000 goblins. Yeah, no, what an achievement! What an achievement!
The horde is strong.
I mean, we'll next week we'll do something proper to like celebrate it. I mean, we had some ideas, but we didn't have a chance to get anything concrete for today's show anyway. So yeah, we'll do something a bit more special next week.
Everything kind of like we said, we did plan to be home earlier than we were.
Oh yeah, at least an hour earlier.
We would at least have had our coats off, if nothing else.
Yeah, we had a bit of time.
I mean, I've still got my car keys here. That's how.
Yeah.
Like it's been how much Russia's been.
Mark, beware of the sheep. Yeah.
I should. Wolf said Wales, where the men are men and the sheep are nervous.
Yeah, I should have seen that one coming.
Yeah. We did actually see some sheep, didn't we? Truth, honestly.
Some what? Sorry.
Some sheep. We saw some sheep in Wales.
Did you say sheep?
Yeah.
I thought you said something else. You said sheep.
No, I said sheep.
I don't know. Maybe I'll replay that later. We'll see what you actually said, but I didn't hear it right. Call on backlash, not from me. If anything, limits need to be raised. I agree. I totally agree. I don't know. Like I said, there's a balance. There's a balance, right? And at the moment, it's going the wrong way. It's going away from something that is considered safe, but at the same time is also considered reasonable for motorists. Yeah, right. As if these, but that's the problem. These people that have these grand ideas when it comes to speed limits and things like that, they are all anti-motorist to begin with. They're all like, being economical and stuff like that. Oh, does he?
He almost
What's the matter? Let's have a look. 125 guy. Maybe the 20-mile-an-hour limit is being put in place for all the learner drivers that can't seem to do 30 on a main road, or is that just round my way? Well, the wifey had an experience like that earlier, didn't you? Did you say? Was it today? Yesterday.
Oh my god. So, are you talking about the roundabout?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god. I was raging. I was actually having a proper little putting the world to rights. So we're coming off we're coming onto the roundabout, and this learner pulls out at about 5 miles per hour, keeps going as a car
at 5 miles an hour.
As a car is coming, and obviously beep its horn. And the thing I said to you was, why hasn't the instructor put their foot down and said you need to go faster?
Well, but they don't have an accelerator. The instructor only has a brake and a clutch.
Oh, do they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Regardless.
Well,
they should have said, put your foot down.
I mean, when I was thinking about this afterwards, I was thinking, why are you taking this person on these kinds of roads? Because even though they're 30 and 40 mile an hour roads, they're quite big roundabouts, aren't they? And I imagine it can be quite
daunting.
Well, especially if that was the first day or the second day learning to drive. Yeah. Like you'd have thought the instructor had a bit more sense about where to take the learner, take them on some smaller roads, maybe mini roundabouts instead of full-on roundabouts, somewhere where they've got a bit more time to get around. I don't know. I
think regardless of what pedals the instructor had, they should have been saying you need to put your foot down.
Well, and the thing is,
they were going so slow. It was dangerous. It was so dangerous.
Yeah. Well, especially when you got people coming around the roundabout as well.
And it's a really big roundabout with trees and things on. So it's not the sort of one that you can just kind of see what's happening.
Yeah.
You have to really be aware of the exits and the roundabout.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. That roundabout is actually blocked off from viewing, so you can't anticipate just pulling away straight away. You actually have to slow down to 10 miles an hour at least to get enough of a peak around these shrubbery, the shrubbery, before you can actually move off again. But
stupid roundabout to take them on, to be fair.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, it's a massive industrial estate, so you'd think but you'd have thought that it'd be all right. But I don't know. I don't think that person was ready for that kind of pressure.
No, it was.
If they haven't got the confidence to go any faster than 5 miles an hour, they definitely they should be practicing in a car park. For God's sake, you can do 15, 20 miles an hour in a car park easy.
Don't get me wrong. I know that people need to learn how to use roundabouts, and I've had to get better at it, haven't I? Because I wasn't overly.
Well, we were all noobs at some point.
But there's other roundabouts in that estate which are the same size but a heck of a lot quieter to do.
Oh, yeah.
So they should have been taken there.
Definitely.
And if needs be, the instructor should have driven them there, and then they swap over.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, from the driving instructor's point of view, you want to get this person real life experience on the roads, but not like that.
Not to the detriment of other people.
No, or to themselves, for God's sake. You know, I mean, it's a tough one.
We were behind a learner in that first car we tested as well.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
And even they couldn't even manage 20 miles an hour in that car as a learner.
But they were doing at least 20, which on that road, remember, that was all 20 mile an hour, that road. So at least they could get up to 20. Yeah.
They could manage.
Anyway, yeah. But, it's tough with learners, isn't it? But a lot of it comes down to the driving instructor themselves. I don't necessarily blame the learners because they're just being directed by the instructor. So, yeah. I mean, with the way a lot of people drive these days, you do wonder, who the hell taught you to drive? So there must be a load of rubbish instructors out there.
Yeah.
I remember my driving instructor was pretty good. He was always, funnily enough, he was one of those few instructors that was always encouraging you to reach the speed limit. He wasn't one of those instructors that's like, remember, the speed limit is 30, so anything underneath that is fine.
Oh, yeah,
No, it's not fine. Everyone else is doing 30. Why are you teaching these people that?
My instructor was like, it's 40, you're doing 36, you need to get up to 40.
Yes, exactly.
That's exactly
That's
what
a proper instructor.
Like.
A proper instructor.
Because he was like, all you're going to do is piss other people off.
And it causes danger to you.
And it causes that. And he said it could cause an accident because someone might try and overtake you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they won't just try overtaking. They'll try overtaking on a stupid place,
like
on a bend or something. Yeah, it's so true. But no, I mean, I think I was lucky with my driving instructor. Then again, though, I mean, maybe my driving instructor was lucky to have me as a student because by that point I'd already been riding a motorcycle for 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, no. Yeah, 2 years.
By the time...
2 years. So I already had that little bit of road experience, a little bit of that road awareness and how roads worked and things. And once I got the hang of actually figuring out how the car worked, you know, how clutch operated, gears and all that, space, the size, then it was okay.
I was really fortunate because when I was with the instructor I actually did my test with, I'd been put on the insurance on your car, hadn't I, at that point?
Yeah.
And then we'd brought me my Peugeot, which I was able to, any time that you were going anywhere that I was going to, I had to drive. I had to take my car.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think that's a really good thing to do, is actually to buy a car,
and then
even if you don't have,
drive straight away.
Even if you don't have a license, as long as you have someone with the car in the car with you that has a full license. I think they've got to be over 21 or something like that,
and have X amount of experience.
Something like that. As long as you can find someone, if it's a mate or whatever, that can just sit in the car whilst you drive, be their taxi for a bit. You know, if they need to get places, be their taxi, and
you
just kind
need
of
them to come home with you.
Yeah, do it. Just do it like that, and then that's. But you see a lot of people kind of getting their driving license before they buy a car, and sometimes it's actually better the other way around because you get that opportunity, especially if there's like just private car parks around where you can just learn the basics.
But I was able to get in my car straight away when I passed, change my insurance over, and I was out. I was done. Yep. I was ready.
Yep. But you probably had more driving experience than a lot of people that were taking their tests. So, yeah. It was definitely a benefit to me having a car that I could actually practice in, away from the driving instructor.
And now you have a Desi driver as well. That's good.
Oh, what? Sorry?
A Desi driver. When you go out, I can drive you.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. Let's have a look, see what you guys think. Who else have we got? Mark Jordan, good to see you, mate. How you doing? Thank you for joining us.
You haven't washed your hands since you got in.
It's all right. It's fine. 125 guy. The limits was made so long ago based on the braking distance of drum brakes. If that is true, that's so dumb. If that's true, because I mean, every car nowadays, every modern car from like the mid 90s, 2000s, all have disc brakes, and disc brakes are just a lot better than the old drum brakes. So if that's true, man, that's a shocker. Call on 20 mile an hour on Route 1. I joined the ensuing protests. Oh, mate. I do actually wish that more motorists would protest these kinds of things, because it's just not fair. 125 go places that ain't motorish. You should go through extra slow, the ridiculously loud bike. Then maybe they'll up the limit to get the noise out of there as fast as possible. See, no, they won't. Instead, they'll put bloody noise cameras instead. That's what they'll do.
That's true.
That's what they'll do.
You have both.
Yeah, they'll double down on it. Because that's what happened in London, wasn't it? That there were residents complaining about the slow speed limits, but the cars that were going down there were making so much noise. And so that's exactly what they did. They just put bloody noise cameras. Arrgh! Again, it's so anti-motorist. It's so stupid.
My mum and dad's neighbour have a BMW 1 Series. And apparently it was his pride and joy. And he sold it. And my mum said, why? He went, I'm buying a motorbike. So watch this space. We don't know what it is yet. But watch this space.
That's a power play, that. Selling your car to buy a bike. That's a power play. I'm going to have a quick look and see if I have any
updates. I don't think I do.
Lomov UK, a Bandit 1200 scrap bike ? Why not get an XV1100? They need to be thrashed and abused. Terrible bikes. YZF 1000R ? You can get those at reasonable prices if you can handle the power. You know what? I was actually that's one of the other bikes I had on my kind of list was YZF. YZF 1000 for sure. Again, yeah, fantastic bikes. You really can't go wrong with one of them. So
yeah, apparently he'd rather have a motorbike than a car.
Yeah.
Guess we'll make a visit up to there sometime.
Well, I mean, clearly that's the same picture with me, seeing as I don't drive my bloody cars anywhere. There you go. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. It is just handy having a car, though, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yeah. Mark Jordan, Evening Goblins, how about an old ZX6R for your junk bike? Yes. Yeah. Oh, these are some good suggestions.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I think that, and I know my opinion means nothing, but I think you should not get a Kawasaki as your junk bike.
No.
I think you should avoid Kawasaki.
I want to try and get another bike. Yeah, another brand that's not Kawasaki. But I mean, you've got some of the old 900 Fireblades that could be an option as well. I mean, I don't know how much they're going for nowadays, but
a Yamaha.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and any basically Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki from 1995 to 2000 is probably the range that I'm going to be looking at.
I just think that we have explored the Kawasaki range quite thoroughly between us.
Well, that's
you
the
more
problem.
Than me, obviously.
That's the problem. In your entire lifetime, you'll never ever be able to get through all of the bikes that a brand has to offer. So it's a shame, but a lot of bikes get missed.
But that's
so
the thing.
Fantastic bikes get missed.
If you've got a bike that you're just like, and I don't think this is true at all in any way, shape or form, that you're just going to throw about and treat like dirt. It's never going to happen.
The wifey knows me too well.
I have absolutely no faith that it's going to work out that way.
I could just pull a Yami Noob and get a Hayabusa. Just a first generation Hayabusa. 1999 Hayabusa. I could get something like that, maybe.
Did we look at the Fireblade at one point before we got your ZZR?
No, that was before we got the CBR 600RR.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a 2004 Fireblade that was just out of reach in my price range.
That was meant to be a bike. That was a winter bike, and if it got salted, and obviously you'd wash it down after every ride. It was meant to be like one of those bikes that. No, let me finish.
Yeah.
One of those bikes that
I know.
You weren't necessarily going to be like looking after as much because you've got your other bikes. And what happened?
Yeah,
every time the bike came out for a wash, the other bikes came out, and everything. And it was great that you looked after it, but. You always say, I'm going to do a junk bike thing. And I'm like, all right, then.
Well, I was going to say, though, I mean, do you remember when we looked at that Fireblade? Yeah, how nice it was. Nice. Like, it was in such good condition. Nice. And again, I mean, it done, I think, 30,000 miles, something like that. But it was in such good nick, man. It was so clean.
When you said to me last night, I'm just going to throw this car around, I looked at you and just laughed. And I was like, no, you're not. Don't be silly. I know you too well. So whatever it is, it will be in good condition. Regardless, won't it?
I don't know.
I think it's almost like you need to go and drop it, and then you'd be like, "Oh, I've dropped it once. It's fine now. Like I know it's okay."
Well, I mean that's. I know this is going to sound kind of stupid, but I mean one of the things I want to do is practice clutch up wheelies. I want to learn that skill. I want to do it. I really do, and I do not feel comfortable doing them on any of the bikes that we've got at the moment. So if there's a bike that I can drop comfortably and be like. Well, I'm not going to be like that because dropping a bike is
heartbreaking.
It's a sin, regardless of what it is.
It's really fortunate though that we found that first aid kit. Then
that's so random.
Well, you might need it if you fall off your bike.
No, I just found like a brand before I sold my old car. There's a brand new first aid kit in the car, and I was like, "What the hell is this doing in here?" So the wifey stole it. Oh, well, there you go.
No, I thought, you know what? We've paid for the car. They're not going to be looking for it. So why don't we just obtain it?
All right, call on for a junk bike. I suggest an old Honda CB 750 900 and 1100F Super Sport. Oh man, this is getting harder and harder because you guys are coming up with such good bikes.
Is your list getting longer?
Yeah, it is. I had a set list. I think it was about 5 different bikes that I was looking at, and now it's closer to 10.
Yeah.
CC, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Lone Wolf UK, just trying to wind Goblin up in a funny way. Colin, I was talking with a friend who owned both. He said. He said more set off punch from a YZF, but a ZZR more linear and torquey. I hear that about quite a lot of older motorcycles from the late 90s and early 2000s, where they have a lot of punch off the line, which doesn't make a lot of sense because they have less horsepower and less torque specs than modern motorcycles do. But modern motorcycles, they have a good punch off the line. Not that's not what I'm trying to say, but I've heard about it before, where there have been people that have ridden old 900 Fireblades or 954s, and they're just like, this is too much. That off the line power is just ridiculous, and I want to experience that. What was acceptable in those days for just straight off the line power, and see how it compares. Yeah, definitely. Greg Goddard, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. I brought my first car, a Calibra Turbo, before I had a license. Took my driving test in the Exanima, loved it. Nice.
Oh, what? Sorry.
Fair. Calibra.
What's the other word?
Turbo.
I want to have a look at what it looks like.
I can't think of what it looks like off the top of my head.
Wow.
So.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a cool car.
What colour did you have it in?
Fair play.
So
that is a cool car.
Picture.
Yeah, Mad Dog Phaser 1000. Yeah, again, man, you guys are spoiling me. Lone Wolf UK, Goblin Riders, come try mine before you buy. Save yourself some cash. Yeah, you could be right, but I'm not going to limit myself. I'm going to try and be as open-minded as possible about what's out there. Because I even though I'm calling it a junk bike, I still want something that is actually decent, that I can ride around in, that's going to be fun, that I can confidently talk to you guys about and what have you, not be embarrassed by it or something like that. So yeah, definitely, I am still looking to get a decent bike, even if it's a bit older with some more miles. But you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, call on Phaser 1K. You're speaking my language. You got an FZ1 last year. Not letting it go. I'm not surprised. John, good to see you, mate. How you doing? I have explored the Kawasaki Range 2, passed the test in 1993, got a ZXR 400 and a ZXR 750, then a ZX6R, and then a ZX10R. Now I have a Harley Sportster.
Strange, isn't it?
That's so cool. I mean, you've got sport bike, and then cruiser. That's so cool.
That's cool.
Fair play. That's awesome. Because again, I mean, a Sportster, a cruisers in general is another area of motorcycles that I want to explore more. And Sportsters are kind of like that. Are they like the entry level kind of cruiser bike? I don't know. I'm not a cruiser guy, but yeah, it's something I want to explore. So maybe we can test drive some cruisers as well. As a junk bike, I don't know.
That would be interesting.
Well, that would be interesting. Yeah. CC, why don't you book a day at a wheelie school? I had no idea that was even a thing.
Not a bad idea, though, is it?
I had no idea that was a thing. Literally.
Let's look into those.
Yeah. I'll have to have a little Google. 125 guy, I had a slide on my CBR 125R this week. She's okay, but I was gutted. Good job the plastics were not fitted.
Were you okay though?
Damn, yeah.
Were you all right
I'm hoping that you're all right, because that's always the thing, isn't it? You always care more about the bike than you do yourself. I'm the exact same. But yeah, hopefully you're all right. And good job the plastics weren't on there. Yeah, definitely. Have you? I can't remember. Have you got frame sliders on your 125R? I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah. CC VFR 750, great bike in the day. Yeah, there was some bikes. Well, I looked at a VFR 800 a few years ago, and it looked like a fantastic bike, but I don't know. When I had a look at like some reviews of it, people called it a dad bike, and so it kind of put me off a little bit.
I thought it was like a Goldwing.
But even though what it's okay, so it's an 800cc really torquey, comfortable bike. Are you trying to tell me that's a dad bike? I'd have thought like more like a Goldwing would have been a dad bike.
Yeah, Goldwing.
Definitely.
Something like that.
You know, not Not a VFR.
BMW R1200 over my dad's got. That's a dad bike.
Yeah, it is. Don't tell your dad that. don't tell your dad
that.
He might be watching. Mark Jordan. My first motorcycle was a 1973 Honda SL125. Oh, so cool.
That looks so good.
But like, they literally haven't changed all that much, have they?
No, they haven't.
From the CBF 125s that you find today.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It looked like the one.
They look very, very similar.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Very nice.
That's so cool. Oh, how about a cheap MT-07? Yeah, again, another bike. The problem is, I don't know if an MT-07 is going to be in my price range. I mean, when they first come out, mid-2000s, something like that? MT-07s, I can't remember. So they might be a bit outside my price range.
Would you get one that doesn't start and you'd have to work on to make it start, or do you want something that functions from the go?
This is something else, actually, that, I mean, I'm not sure.
Right.
Because I'm not a mechanic, and even though I have like a theoretical understanding of how a motorcycle works.
Very basic, that translates to, doesn't it? You have a very basic understanding.
No. I have a theoretical understanding in my mind, but it's different when you're physically in front of the bike wrenching on it.
Oh, I see with you.
You see what I mean? So
you
might know where things are, but you won't necessarily know how much torque you need to give when you're tightening things up.
That's fair.
You won't necessarily know where all the wires go.
So you want something that runs.
I ideally want something that runs that I can break. Yeah. I can break. That sounds morbid. But yeah.
No, but you wouldn't be so concerned about breaking. Is the thing, isn't it?
No, well, precisely, yeah. John, hat to man, was always telling myself off after riding the ZX6R Gen 5. ZX10R Gen 5. I was reading ahead. Yeah. Oh, okay. Lone Wolf UK, if you like wheelies, I was going to mention an RD350 or 500 LC. But have you seen the price of them these days?
RD350.
No, I get the impression that some of these bikes are going up in value.
Okay, we're going on to eBay.
Yeah.
Oh, crikey.
Oh, my God.
There's one on here ranging from $4,000 right up to 8.5. Oh, God, 12 grand.
That's out my price range.
13. Wow.
There you go, bud. Yeah, no.
This is from 1982. This one.
Some of these older bikes now are really starting to
come around again. Really.
Well, not come around per se, but it's still in relatively high demand, but there's less of them around, so obviously they're worth more.
Yeah, it's got a centre stand.
It's a nice looking bike.
So this one's in fantastic condition.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. Well, what's that one asking? 10k?
13.
13k. Jesus.
You sure it's at your price range?
Yeah.
Apparently it's done no miles. So.
Yep. Apparently.
Well,
can you imagine if that is actually like a showroom piece that hasn't been ridden? I seriously doubt that. But can you imagine?
Mileage 1. This bike has gone through an extensive recent build.
Okay, so it's not a brand new one. It's a rebuilt one.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why it's not.
Okay, they're cheating.
Very nice, iconic bike.
Yeah, it looks good.
It does look nice, yeah.
125 guy, I'm okay. Got a very sore shoulder and leg. No frame sliders yet, but want to get some fitted. Okay. I imagine that you were okay enough to pick the bike up and ride it home again. So yeah, hopefully it's not too bad.
That kicks in, and then you realise how much pain you're in.
Without a doubt, yeah, without a doubt.
Like my dad, he didn't realise he'd broken his ribs until after.
Well, it's like
the adrenaline worn off.
This is when I was 17, but yeah, when I came off my old 125, they had. I contacted my parents and asked, because I didn't know what to do, and I just asked them, what should we do? And they came. I wasn't far away from home at the time, but yeah, they came over and saw how I was doing and that. Helped me get the bike home. I felt absolutely fine, but you know that feeling when you feel a bit shaken up, and you're not really thinking straight. It was one of those occasions where I didn't feel overly confident riding the bike back home again. But they insisted that I went to the hospital, even though I was probably doing 20 miles an hour, the front wheel locked up, and just dive bomb to the floor. Wasn't going that fast, but I think I had a bruise on my bum. But I think that was about it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah, went to the hospital, went to A&E. I didn't think there was any reason to, but I suppose it makes sense.
As well, isn't it?
Yeah.
To worry about.
So you were saying when you have that adrenaline pumping around your system, and you're not feeling that much pain, not feeling sore.
When Mum died of the accident, my mum tried to stand up.
Yeah.
Because she didn't realise she'd broken her ankle. Because she was trying to look where my dad was, because he wasn't anywhere near her. She wasn't near the bike. No, she was near the bike, sorry. Because she was under the bike. So... Yeah.
This is in no way related whatsoever. But I remember watching this clip from... it's just WWE. I know. It is somewhat relevant, but it's not relevant to motorcycles or anything like that. But there was a clip of Vince McMahon, the guy that owns WWE. And this was ages ago. But he... You know how a lot of the time they slide into the ring? Underneath the bottom rope, because the normal thing you do is climb up the stairs and either go through the middle, or you get some of the big guys to go over the top. They're just like one leg over, but a lot of the time with the little people, they just slide inside the ring straight away. Well, Vince McMahon did this, but he clipped both of his knees on the way in. Ooh. And because he was trying to play an act, the very first thing he did was try to stand up, and he just fell flat on his ass because he ripped up all the tendons in his legs.
Icky.
Either tendons or ligaments, but I think he had to have like surgery afterwards. But it's crazy how on the video it didn't look that bad, but I mean,
you hear about the aftermath.
He properly caught his knees on the ring side.
It's like when you watch Lord of the Rings. And Aragorn kicks that helmet, and then he screams.
Yes.
And he's screaming because he's like, they've taken the hobbits to Isengard. Anyway, that scene, he actually breaks his toe, and the scream
when he
is
kicks the
him
helmet.
in pain. But obviously it was good, it was authentic, and it stayed in.
Yeah. Well, it was like that other scene, wasn't it, in The Fellowship, right at the very end, where the big bad orc like throws that dagger, and he like swats it with his sword. Apparently that's real, and it wasn't meant to happen like that. Yeah. But they kept it in the movie because that knife was going straight towards him, and you're like, bing! You hear it ping off the sword.
And
it's
for
brilliant.
those who have seen the extended edition and know that Sauron gets stabbed in the back.
No, Saruman.
Saruman gets stabbed in the back.
She calls herself a nerd.
Actually, I don't.
I call myself a nerd.
I actually don't.
Sorry, we're going way off topic. Sorry.
Because they were, I think, Peter Jackson said to Christopher Lee, you need to do this. And Christopher Lee went, have you ever been stabbed? And he said, no. He went, well, I have. And that this is not how you react.
Up. Seriously?
Yeah, apparently Christopher Lee been stabbed, and that's how he knew that reaction that Peter Jackson wanted him to have was not an authentic reaction.
No way.
That Saruman was going to have.
Crazy.
Saruman, because he's a man, right? Well then.
Call on. I care more about my bike. I got into a few scrapes and still ride. Yeah, if I die, my troubles are over. If my bike gets trashed, my troubles are just beginning.
One way to look at it, isn't it?
Man, that's poetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's poetic. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? I shot a video over the weekend, last weekend. It'll be coming out tomorrow, but it's about like the misconception, or not misconception, kind of about the safety of motorcycles, the misconception around safety of motorcycles. Like there was a comment that was left about there was a guy who I can't remember his name. Really sorry. But he used to take his mate, who's a lady, pillion on his motorcycle.
I saw that, yeah.
And she saw some like road safety clips of bikers having accidents and the aftermath of the accidents and things. And just from watching some of those clips, she flat out refuses now to ride. And it's one of those things where I don't know, like motorcyclists, I'm pretty sure we all feel a very similar way about this, where we know the risks. We know the risks, but it doesn't happen every day. Guess what? Most riders survive their riding careers. It's not like every rider dies a fiery death. Mm-mm. So, I think that's a big misconception, but that's what tomorrow's video is about anyway. But yeah, it's just kind of reminded me that we know the risk of what could happen, but it doesn't change the fact that we still do it and we still love it and we still enjoy riding. It doesn't change. That doesn't change.
Do you think if she saw a car, the same video but relating to cars, or same video but if you were on a bus, she'd never go anywhere?
Well,
you'd never want to walk anywhere. You'd never want to get in the car. That
was kind of like my response. Is it to this person? It kind of sounded more like it sounded a bit like, you know, when people refuse to get on boats or planes because they can sink or crash. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, of course, but guess what? Planes are like statistically some of the safest ways you can get around. So, I mean, statistically, you're more likely to die in a car crash than you are in a bike crash because there's simply more cars on the road. Doesn't mean that happens every day. So even though, you know, a lot of more motorcycle crashes end up being fatal, a lot of the instances can be avoided. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about that because we have a whole video about it tomorrow. But yeah, it is true. Like, it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. It's like, well, Formula One drivers, they know the risk of what they do every single day. They still do it. They still love it. It's still the sport. And I think I've said this before on the live show. Any athlete you ask, any elite athlete, if you ask them that question, would you die for your sport? They'd all say, yeah. Have I got hair on? Is it still attached?
Yeah.
I think I felt it.
I've actually yanked it off, and that one still needs to be there. It looks good in your mouth, though.
Oh, John, I get the best feeling riding the Harley Sportster. I'll have to check one out. I'm not gonna lie. I have to check. I have to check one out at some point. Yeah, because they do sound like a lot of fun. Oh, okay. CC, check out Baron Von Grumble or Teapot on YouTube at Wheelie School. Let me know. I'd love to go. Interesting. I will definitely check those guys out. Because don't get me wrong, I have looked at tutorials because everyone's curious, aren't they, about, you know, how to actually physically pull the wheelie and stuff like that. Again, I know how to do it theoretically. It's just literally having the bollocks to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's always the way. Okay. Let's we'll go through these last few messages in the chat, guys, and we'll sign off because we haven't eaten anything today
at all. Literally
nothing. So yeah, we're desperate to get some food in us. So hope you guys don't mind.
And I'm not cooking tonight, which is amazing. You are.
Oh, Mark Jordan, 2014, the MT-07 came out, and that's the one I own now. Oh, okay, so a lot more recent. Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm going to go on eBay.
A lot more recent.
Prices.
John, yes, I wish I had not sold my 1989 Suzuki RGV 250 in 1999 for 900. Now they're worth loads. Yeah, you're seeing that a lot with a lot of these older 1980s motorcycles. I think the GPZ 900R, is it, from Kawasaki? They're starting to go up in value a little bit as well. But I do wonder how much of that is to do with the new Top Gun movie, because obviously he rode a GPZ in the original Top Gun, so I wonder.
These are at your price range. This top one is £40,000. Don't know why, but there's some in here. I think the cheapest I found has been just under £5.
You're looking at okay.
The only one that's on there.
Yeah, no. It's because you got it wrong in there. So MT-07. That's it. Now you actually get. There'll be loads. There'll be loads on the market.
They're still like $4,000 though. Yeah,
unfortunately, I think they're a bit too. No, I'd love to have an MT-07. Honestly, I really would.
I selected on what YouTube suggested. That's why. Oh, this one's nice though.
Gregor McNee, the RD350s were rocket ships, beautiful bikes for Yamaha. Yeah, well, that's probably why they're so highly sought after nowadays, isn't it? Yeah. Mark Jordan, I'm so tempted to purchase second-hand Aprilia RS660. What's your thoughts on this particular motorcycle?
It's pretty.
The RS660, that's the parallel twin, isn't it? I think it's a very nice looking bike. I mean, obviously most Italian motorcycles look the part. I mean, for me personally, if I was to get an Aprilia, I'd have to look at an RSV4. It'd have to be an RSV4. Because is it a V twin or a parallel twin? The RS660, I can't remember. I'm really sorry. But yeah, beautiful looking bike. That's for sure. What one are you looking at there?
The RSV4.
RSV4, yeah. Yeah.
To see what they look like.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're good bikes nonetheless anyway. Yeah. Chris, I'm really sorry if I pronounce your name wrong here, mate. Chris Mill Gaming, I hope you're doing all right. I'm soon going to buy a Kawasaki Ninja 125. Been watching your vids to learn more about them. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? We haven't actually had a video on the Ninja 125 for a while. So maybe this weekend I'll have to get it out. And yeah, think of something. Think of something to shoot on it. Yeah, definitely.
Maybe I'll get it out.
Yeah. I've been asking that for ages. When are you going to start doing your motor vlogs, wifey?
When it's warmer.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Jim P, good to see you, mate. The dog looks happy. Yeah, he's excited because we've left him at home for a few hours. So he's really happy to see us, and we've kind of like been ignoring him because we just, as soon as we got here, we started late, the show late. We got here, signed on straight away. He was underneath the table, isn't he? Yeah.
The thing is, I gave him a whole bowl of treats before he went out. So
yeah, he was fine.
He was fine.
Yeah. Call on. I die for my sport. A death on a motorcycle racetrack would be a good death for me. Honestly, if that's what you enjoy doing, anyone would say the same thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, if that's your hobby and that's what you like doing, yeah. Yeah, Jim P. Mark, I think the RS660 is a good bike. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm not that familiar with Italian bikes. It's not really my forte. I mean, I've been criticised in the past for kind of, not... I don't have anything bad to say about Italian motorcycles, but at the same time, they're not... I haven't seen one that really makes me think I need that bike yet, And Ducatis obviously are very, very expensive. So, and when you compare them to what Japanese bikes have to offer as well, it kind of makes you second guess yourself about whether or not that's a worthwhile motorcycle to buy. But one day I will expose myself to Italian motorcycles properly, and then we'll know for sure then how I feel.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, people think I say negative things about Italian bikes. I don't. I'm reserving my judgment. They look nice. They all look fantastic. I mean, yeah, when I went into a motorcycle dealership a couple months ago, there had some Moto Guzzies in there, and again, they're beautiful. They look beautiful.
Read one more comment.
Yes, yeah, sure. Do you want to read it?
Mark, we have a 6-month-old pug. Her name is Dolly.
Oh, sweetie. Oh, very cute.
We have a pug-ish.
Yeah, well, he's a Jack Russell pug, isn't he? Jack Russell
and
pug.
He's 6 years old.
Yeah. His name's Flint.
Yeah. Gliding through life.
Flint. Yeah. Like
pug,
like the stone Flint.
Yeah. Not Flintstone. Yeah.
Very, very cute. All right, everyone. Well, I hope we haven't annoyed you too much being off schedule today, being a little bit late. We did really try our best to get here on time to do the show, regardless of our prep. But to be honest, it's been quite a nice show anyway, just having the opportunity just to chat with you guys.
Yeah, it's been nice not having something so structured.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been nice.
We'll do something.
Sorry, I thought they were dropping. Sorry.
No. We'll do something more structured for our 4. Next week.
We've got some ideas for a proper celebration of 4,000 subscribers. So we've got some ideas, and hopefully it'll be funny and it'll be entertaining, and fingers crossed it actually gives out the right message.
Yeah.
you guys will know what we mean, but it does need some prep for next week. So but yeah, I mean, massive thank you to joining us on today's show, despite the fact that we were late today.
Thanks for your patience.
And I mean, tomorrow's video is coming out as planned. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you there. But if not, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And me and the wifey, hopefully next week we will catch you on Thursday on time at 6 p.m. UK time.
With an agenda.
Yeah, with an actual structure and actual topic for that particular show. But yeah, thanks again for watching, everyone, and hope you're doing well. Thanks again to any of our new subscribers. Welcome to our little community. I mean, I don't know what else to say, really.
Keep it for next week.
Yeah,
keep the gushiness for them.
Yeah, I've got some more sentimental things I would like to say, but yeah, we'll leave that all for next week. But yeah, thank you ever so much, guys and girls. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Ride safe.